YTPC, it's Padre. Back in 2019 and 2020, Mark VV and I did a series on the Boswell English Sampler, exclusively for BRTV. I'm happy to now have that series available on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy it.
Coming to you via the virtual airwaves of BRTV from the Big Easy in Louisiana, bringing you his philosophy and insight on life and all things pipe and premium tobacco related. Please welcome your host, Padre Piperer.
Yeah, pre-show banter.
What'd you say about Canadians?
Canucks. A?
Good, I like your ho-ho-ho socks.
How about that?
Very classy.
Thank you. It's not Christmas, though. Been through this. Don't make me out to be the Pharisee. I got a good draw.
A little bit more. I want to fill it up. I'm not a Canadian. Do you have any Canadian viewers?
Probably. Fill her up, Buttercup. Canadian viewers. Any Canadian viewers that don't know?
Probably Dave Allen,
On
huh?
a bad hair day. On a bad beard day.
Dave Allen's from Canada.
I need a plastic surgeon.
There we go. Fancy mug you got there.
Why, thank you.
Saw one of those on George Bruno's channel.
And shall we begin? I think they should see the light ups and everything. What are you thinking?
What's a light up? Wait, the lighter. You need a lighter?
I have a lighter. You don't have a lighter. You have a fake lighter. I'm going to start this video. YTPC, Padre, coming to you via the virtual airwaves of BRTV. That's Briar Report Television, in case you didn't know. And this is going to be video one in a series of videos where I get together with Mark VV, who is not from Canada, contrary
God bless America.
to certain beliefs of some people. And we're going to do a series, aren't we?
Yes.
We're going to do a series for the old BRTV. I'm house cleaning. This mug needs a cleaning as well.
It's pretty dirty.
Black coffee.
I have some black coffee as well.
All right. And we are going to do a bit of a tasting series. And what we're going to do it on is this here stuff from Boswell's. All right. Now, if you've been to Boswell's, you know they've got some wonderful aromatics. This time of the year, I think Christmas cookie
Very appropriate.
is one of their better
Boswell.
sellers. Did you already spill something over there?
No, I'm showing off the
Country Squire.
It's not Boswell.
I gotcha. It's not Boswell. So what we have here is the gift package. Actually, it's just a little sampler, but it does come gift wrapped. I've already removed one of the sample packs from it, but I'm going to show you everything else that's in it before we get to the one that we're going to sample today. And this is going to tell us how many videos we're going to make too, because we're going to sample each and every one of these. This is the Boswell's English Sampler. Can you say English? English. America. All right. So in here is Titus. In here is Boswell's Mild English.
Just throw it on the floor.
Floor's clean. In here is Northwoods. Now, I've had Northwoods.
I have had that as well.
Okay, so we're going to do that one second because the other one that we're doing today we've also had. Imperial English. Magnum Blend. This is not to be confused with, you wouldn't know anything else about a Magnum, would you? I was referring to the firearm, not the drugstore. Never mind.
Well, I was thinking about the Magnum Opus, which is
Oh, there you go. Okay.
another tobacco blend.
In a railroad station. All right. So how many is that?
That's 6
2,
thrown.
4, 6,
on the
and
ground.
7 today. So we said we both had Northwoods.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that one second because we've also both had this one, which is, I'm gonna let the air out of the bag there. Okay, this is Countryside. In fact, Countryside was the first Boswell's English blend I ever had. And I think the first time I smoked it a few years ago, I didn't quite get it, and so I didn't quite like it. And I went back to it with a couple of different pipes, and I actually developed a fondness for it. And Matches had talked about this one time. I think I might have sent him some, but he talked about a side note. And once he sort of did that, that helped me better understand this blend. That there is a bit of a topping. So this is kind of a hybrid because you can smell the Latakia in it. It's Boswell's considers this a medium English, and if you go to tobaccoreviews.com, there are folks who will call this Northwoods Light.
But that Latakia note is very strong.
It's got Latakia in it.
Very strong.
And it's been probably over a year since I've had this. What I remember of it is I like it. This is not going to be, when you light it though, it's not going to be a Star of the East, pirate cake kind of in your face Latakia. What you're going to find on that light is you're going to get that, what to quote Matches, the side note. And I like that side note. That was the thing that was throwing me off, I think, when I first smoked it the first couple of times. And then, side note, I liked that term. And then when I researched it, I realized there's this liquor or alcohol topping to it, and I think that's what's accounting for it. So, Boswell's was kind enough in the sample. By the way, paid full freight for this. Boswell's not paying for my samples to do this. So I'm just a man with a credit card.
So he says.
They were kind enough for the price of that sample to throw in some Matches, which was pretty daggone cool of them, wasn't it? You spend that kind of money and
$8.60
for some Matches.
860.
860. You're going to use a different kind of lighter. Why don't you tell us what your pipe is there, Mark VV?
This is an Ardor pipe I bought a number of years ago.
Put that a little closer. Let them see that. It's a good-looking pipe. How does it smoke?
Very nice, very well.
Does that have a 9mm filter, or is it filterless?
It's filterless.
Yeah. This is some
I
great.
don't know of any Ardor pipes that actually have a filter.
Well, some of us aren't rich enough to afford this kind of pipe. As you'll find out in a moment when I'm smoking.
Visa.
Get a little closer. I mean, the intricacy on the work. Can you see that?
Look at the intricacy.
No, seriously, that's some serious.
Well,
Good
that's
work,
their Urano finish, I believe, is what they call it. But it's a bulldog, obviously. It's
What's
got
it
the little
called?
Urano.
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 Urano. Like Urano.
Urano.
I am not guilty, Urano. That's a good looking pipe. That's all I got to say.
It's a nice
So
bulldog. It just feels appropriate to smoke an English in a bulldog.
An English bulldog. Now, on the other hand, this is the way Padres live. This this is a Mr. Bragg.
You know, if you there's a company called Visa.
Yeah.
That
This is a Mr. Bragg. And honestly, look, I'm not making fun of this pipe because anybody who's watched my channel, you know I own like 3 Mr. Braggs in this model.
In that
alone.
model.
The 51.
likes them so much, he just buys them in 3 packs.
I've got 2 of them that are this color. The other one that's this color has a red band. Actually, I have 4 of these. I've got a blue one. It's a blue finish, and I've got one with a black finish. This one with the blue band on the natural finish, I have dedicated to smoking Englishes out of. And for a while, I was smoking a lot of Frog Morton and Frog Morton Cellar from this pipe. So I haven't smoked this pipe in a while.
Which I wanted to ask you about the Countryside. Is that one of the blends that we tried because of McClelland closing up, or was that before?
No, I actually got Countryside before McClelland's crashed and burned on us.
I feel like it was one of those
Some people may have talked about this being a replacement
for Cellar.
for Cellar because it does have that little, to use a Matches term, a side note. It's an alcohol topping. But so there it is. I'll be lighting up in the $38 Mr. Brog.
And I'll be lighting up in the
$3,800.
undisclosed amount of money, Ardor.
All right, why don't you go for it? Tell us what you. I am selfishly letting him light up first because
He wants the note.
I want the note. I like getting the room note, and once I taste tobacco, it's almost impossible for me to get a room note out of it. So I would like to smell this, and you know, I think coming soon to YouTube or BRTV or somewhere, perhaps Netflix, is a smell-o-vision.
Oh, smell-o-vision, yes.
Wouldn't smell-o-vision be good for the pipe smoking community?
We've talked with Phil about that.
Phil's working on it.
He's working on it, guys.
Phil actually has a technology team in an undisclosed location in a third world nation where he's paying them in some sort of a knockoff Bitcoin to develop the smell-o-vision technology.
Or is that's a Russian?
Okay, now this is smelling like an English Oriental. Nothing all that, you know, out of the ordinary. I mean, it smells like you would think a nice medium English blend would smell in terms of the room note. You just did a retrohale. You're past your charring light, or is that your char light?
This is essentially my char light.
Your char light. So first thoughts?
It's not as heavy as Latakia as I would have expected.
Isn't that the thing? The bag note is definitely a much more present.
Bag note.
Bag note? Seriously? He's easily amused. It's not in a tin. It's not in a jar. Bag note. What? I'm going to light up. The bag note has a presence of Latakia, but you know, I think in that bag note I'm picking up on some of that Oriental Turkish as well.
Oh yeah, so very much.
So,
there's a lot of Oriental in this.
Yeah. So I'm going to light up here.
I've always had this thing about the term bag note. A lot of people use it. It's not like it's not like you're the only person. It's just funny to me.
You're easily amused.
I'm very easily amused.
Now I remember this. It's been well over a year. And this is like an old friend.
And it's not bitey at all.
You know, this is going to be odd. There's sometimes it's not bitey. That's the beauty. There's a little bit of black Cavendish in there. And it gives it
smoothness.
It smooths it out. It gives it a little bit of a smooth mouthfeel. Now, here's the deal. Had I been smart about this, I have a big old jar of this stuff at home, and I probably should have brought that because it was aged, and I think it's a little drier. This is a slight bit moist out of the bag. It's not problematic.
No.
But I think had it sat out just an hour or so even, would have probably made a little bit of a difference. Although it hasn't gone out, okay, and that was, I kind of did a char light 1.5.
I like this is good.
It is good. And I remember reading on tobaccoreviews.com, because you're not a Latakia fan.
Not at all. Not very much.
I mean,
at all.
you don't dislike it,
No,
but
I don't
you're not
dislike
like
it.
You're not like that's my smoke. I want an English.
If I have a first choice in tobacco and there was an English Virginia and aromatic, I'll probably pick the Virginia.
Okay. So having said that, I also read on tobacco reviews, at least one person said, they would highly recommend this particular blend for someone who is transitioning to trying English for the first time, or someone who likes an occasional English flavor that's not overpowering, and I think this would fit the bill for that. I think you definitely can taste.
It would be a very good introductory Latakia blend, yes. I would agree with that.
You see, now I'm getting right now some of the.
Right here, there's this ring. You see that? It's just floating there.
I passed my pipe through it.
That's incredible.
It's you see this haze, it reminds me of when I was in college, but we weren't smoking pipes.
You want to bring out the hemp wick?
Now, Mark VV brought that today. It looks like he's going to fly a kite. Show that up again. That is a roll of hemp wick. And that is used in a gizmo like this, which, I don't know if I can get this out at the moment. But basically, oh, here it comes. Put my pipe down. Show the viewing audience what this is. You can buy these on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. That's where I got this one. And I'm sure any of the other tobacco dealers, a little hard to get out. But basically what this is a plastic case that holds a typical disposable Bic lighter, which I'm having problems getting out at the moment. And then you thread up, up there went the spool. You spread up your, or thread up your hemp wick on this little spool. Spool goes up in the bottom here. You cap it off, passing the string or the hemp wick through and coming out to here. And when you go to light it, you end up just lighting the hemp wick, and then you bring that to your pipe. So you're probably, I'm guessing, that provides a cooler flame than this. And this is a soft flame.
Yes.
So you've reduced the temperature. You're using a natural sort of ingredient or a natural product to light your pipe. So it's pretty neat.
It's just coated in beeswax.
But it smells awful.
Yeah.
When you light it. I don't like the smell of it. All right, so yeah, this is not a bad. I'm remembering this. In fact, I was going to say this and I lost track of it. I distinctly remember smoking this, believe it or not, the very first time I attended the New Orleans Pipe Club.
Okay.
It was the night where it was held outdoors at, I'm going to show my age because I don't know what the place is called
Winston's.
now. Okay, I was about to call it Bandits.
Yeah, I remember
It used to be called
that.
Bandits. At Winston's, we were on that back patio, and I had some of this on me, and that's one of the things I smoked that evening. So it's weird.
Who had it? Did you bring it or somebody?
I had it. It was just something I had with me at the time. I don't recall a pipe I smoked it out of though, but
Was it something that you had ordered or you were given?
I think I just had it on me at the time. I think I was at that time I was smoking it as part of the rotation and just had it with me. And there are sometimes there's church bells. There's sometimes you have one of those smokes, and it could be a tobacco you've had scores, dozens, hundreds of times, but you're like, wow, that was good. And that was one of those nights where Countryside was just really good. It was just a good smoke that I had. It's another time using this pipe. I remember the pipe and I remember the tobacco. Frog Morton, Frog on the Log, the regular old stuff, on the beach in Biloxi. Saturday evening, sun going down. There was just something about that smoke that will always be memorable. It was one of the best tasting Frog Mortons I've ever enjoyed, and it was in this pipe here. And I think that goes back 3-4 years, and I think that's when I dedicated this pipe to smoking.
And that was just a regular.
Just a regular old. I mean, I had not planned on like I'm gonna have this sublime smoke, It just sometimes it happens that way.
Something could have been a good McClellan series. Frog Morton on the beach.
With a little hint of coconut to it,
They
perhaps.
missed an opportunity.
Wow. All right. So we're a couple of minutes into this. This is a cool burning blend. It's I'm catching the room note right now, which sometimes, we've got so much haze in here, I guess that's why. I don't find it overly offensive for an English.
No, it's not.
I think probably a non-smoker would. I think an otherwise a smoker, this is not the, I think most smokers, if you're a pipe smoker, you might even find Pirate Cake offensive when someone else is smoking it. It's just, it's strong.
Not sure I've ever smoked Pirate Cake, to be honest.
The room note is very, very, very strong. This, I don't think this would be too offensive to anybody.
No, it's really not. The room note is actually very, from what I can smell, very pleasant.
Now, what are you picking up? Are you getting? I'm the reason I'm asking. I got that side note that matches refers to.
I've been hunting.
Got that little liquor topping.
I've been hunting for that, and I'm not catching it, but
It's almost, if you do a sip, let it linger, and then just kind of let it go. It shows up almost as an after flavor. And the retrohale will help with that as well.
Did I say what kind of liquor it is?
Nope. Alcohol / liquor, other / miscellaneous.
Yes, that
This is
alcohol,
it's other.
liquor.
Yeah, the miscellaneous. You ever had a bottle of miscellaneous? Okay, this is from the tobaccoreviews.com. I'm assuming they got this off of Boswell's site. I'll read it to you. Countryside is our medium English blend. The fact that they said our, I'm assuming they took this right off the Boswell site. Countryside is our medium English blend of Virginia base with Latakia and select Orientals. It is delicious, smooth-bodied blend with no tongue bite. So far, so good and accurate?
So far, so good. Very accurate.
I think so. A wonderful balance for an enjoyable all-day smoke. I think this could be an all-day smoke. I think I might get bored with it. I don't think it would fatigue a smoker, though.
No, I think I could smoke this pretty much for a good solid hour and not have much of an issue with tongue bite at all.
It is amazingly cool burning. It's tasty.
That is
flavorful.
accurate. What do I would compare to,
I'm even kind of trying to freight train it right now. It's not warming up on me. And you know, I think these Pearwoods, one of the knocks against them, because they are an inexpensive pipe, I like them. I think one of the knocks on them though is they do get a little warm a little faster than a briar. And this thing, I mean, it passes the cheek test. It's not warm at all at the moment. It's really doing well. This is sold by Boswell. You can get it in a tin.
That's all in 10, really?
All the Boswell blends come in tins.
I did not know that.
And many moons ago, when I first started trying Boswells, I bought the tins. It's a ripoff because you get about 1.5 ounces, maybe 2 ounces in a tin for $13 or something. I don't know what the cost is. Where you can buy it by the ounce for like half that price and get it in a bag, which gives you a bag note as opposed to a tin note.
The convenience of the tin, I guess. So.
I guess.
I wonder how this compares to, what's that? Shortcut to Mushrooms blend we're talking about from Just for Him or whatever.
I have been looking for a replacement to Shortcut to Mushrooms. So if anyone out there knows of one or has their own recipe for one, let me know. Because I was actually, I don't know if I told you this, a few months ago I'd begun an experimentation with my own attempt at recreating Shortcut to Mushrooms. I'd researched it online and it was, I think, some really bad advice and dead ends people were talking about. There was clearly something in there, at least one component was McClellan's, which is why they discontinued it. Then they brought it back.
That would make sense. Yep.
Okay, and I don't know what they used to substitute because I never had any of the second version of that, but then they took that off the market. Now I've got a pretty good jar of it at home, so I'm in good shape, but I would probably smoke it more frequently if I knew I could reproduce it in some kind of way. So I've made some attempts. It's clearly, it's a hybrid, so it's got some kind of a aromatic thing happening. I think there's a little bit of some red Virginia, toasted red Virginia in there, and there's some kind of Latakia thing happening. And so I bought some blending Latakia, and I've tried all kind of things. I can't get close. Almost like what I was trying to do with Frog Morton's when I came up with Rector's blend. I actually came across a couple of things. I'm like, this isn't bad, but it's not what I was looking for. There's something about that Shortcut to Mushrooms. First of all, that it doesn't taste like mushrooms, even though some people say, I taste the mushrooms. You must be consuming mushrooms and not the healthy kind.
Little porcini powder, and they just
yes, but you know what it does have? It's got a mouthfeel about it that is mushroomy to me. Not the taste, the feel. You know how mushrooms, because they're a fungus, they've got, when you saute them, there's a smoothness to them. Right?
Yeah.
Especially if you've done them like an olive oil.
Sense.
They get smooth. That smoke is smooth like that. Another cool burning hybrid crossover blend, Shortcut to Mushrooms. So anybody's got a lead on that about how to recreate that. Or if there's a way we can petition just for him to just put it back out there. I'd like to try their knockoff.
Put out the recipe. If they're not
Yeah,
going
put
to
out the
produce
recipe.
it.
Yeah, tell us how they were doing it and let us try our best, you know?
Well, just for him, they aren't primarily a tobacco site, right? That's just something that they did on the side.
Oh, no, I think they've got a ton of blends.
Oh, do they?
They've got a Middle Earth series, much like Country Squire. This was part of their Middle Earth series. In fact, there is about a month or so ago, I did a YouTube Live smoking one of their other Middle Earth series, whose name escapes me at the time. It's in that same ballpark as Shortcut to Mushrooms, but it was different. But it was in the ballpark. It's genres.
I will say if you chug this pretty hard, do you find it loses some of its flavor?
You know, from what I was trying to chug it to see if I could heat it up, and it would have none of that. It wasn't heating up. What I do recall, though, is in the past, if you chug it a little too hard, you get an ashiness out of it.
I got the side note just now.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Just popped in there real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of faded away.
Mm-hmm. And how would you describe it? Is it that alcohol-y?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, alcohol, what does that mean? Because Sir Walter Raleigh has an alcohol-y note to it, but it's not that note. It's also not that rum note that you might be used to with Navy.
With Navy Flakes.
Yeah. So, but what is it?
Probably whiskey or bourbon of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any other alcohol would probably not work. I mean, you wouldn't top a tobacco with gin.
I do like gin.
There is a Sun Bear from Cornell and Deal. They top with silver tequila,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
You know, I've got a couple of tins of that and haven't opened it yet. You tried it?
Yeah.
You liked it?
It's good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very unique. I will give it that.
So, again, we're doing this as exclusive content for BRTV. And we're still a little bit away on BRTV. In all seriousness, we're joking about Phil, you know, with Smell-O-Vision, but Phil really is working to make some major upgrades to BRTV, one of which is going to be the ability for interactiveness, commenting and such. And at the time that this video is being recorded, I'm assuming by the time it gets up, that is not there yet. So I would love to invite people. You know, really, I mean, it's like Sunday evening at church and the phone is ringing. I'm off, people. I'm not answering the phone.
That's incredible.
Seriously. You keep talking. I want to see if it's Elizabeth from Resort Rewards.
Elizabeth from Resort Rewards? Have you talked to her before?
Unknown. Oh, she calls here all the time.
It's not Elizabeth.
Not Elizabeth. Well, no, Elizabeth
Could be.
does show up as unknown.
Or maybe your car insurance has your car
warranty, yes.
has expired
Multiple times.
about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Good old gurgle.
So, are you?
Yeah.
Mine's going pretty good. Now, I've got a filter in here. I've got a balsa wood filter from Savinelli.
That's not too unusual for the if it is a little moist.
So, where was I going? I would invite your comments. I'd like to know if you've had Countryside, but at the moment that's not possible. You may be watching this in the future where comments are enabled, so let us know. We're going to hopefully try and do this. We're going to shoot for weekly. I mean, schedules are a mess, but we're going to try and get through all 7 of these English blends from the Boswell's English Sampler. And you can tell we are expert with the analytics of smoking fine tobacco. I'm being very sarcastic.
I'm actually holding back because I don't want to just blow everybody away with my depth of knowledge.
Yeah. What are those guys, the C&D, you ever watch their channel?
Mm-hmm. Shane Ireland and all those goofballs.
Well, but they know how to do tobacco reviews. I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying I don't.
I certainly don't.
So, you know, my review is, it's good.
Tastes like smoke.
And like Matches says, it's got a side note. And I've had no problem keeping this lit. Even though I found it a little bit on the moist side. Just a tiny bit.
It is, yeah. That's what I imagine I got the gurgle is because it's just a little moist, but leave it out for about 10 minutes, probably just fine.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we are going to go through these now. You know, it's transforming a tiny bit as I get a little further in the bowl now. I don't know how to describe it.
I'm getting more of the
Oriental?
I was going to say the side note.
More of the side note? I'm getting I rather like it. It's not in lieu of, it's an addition to, I'm getting a toastiness.
I would say what's been fairly consistent with the blend so far is the Orientals. They tend to almost overshadow the Latakia a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's
Which
just
is okay. Mm-hmm.
Which for somebody who doesn't particularly love Englishes, I find that's a very pleasing thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So again, we're going to try and smoke our way through this sample. We both have already had Countryside, which is why we chose this one first. We've also both had Northwoods, although I have not had Northwoods as many times as I've had Countryside, although I do have a big jar of that one at home too. So we're going to do Northwoods in video number 2. And then from there, who knows? I guess we'll kind of randomly choose between Imperial English, Titus,
Titus.
Titus,
Magnum, which I have not had.
Magnum. Your wife tells me the Magnum, never mind. Mild English.
I feel like I may have had mild English, but I don't remember.
And Railroad Station. That was bad.
Aren't you a man of the cloth?
You know, I'm off. We're actually recording this on Sunday evening, the first Sunday of Advent.
Not Christmas.
We had a long discussion about this before. We were pouring some coffee and setting up. I was being a Pharisee about this is a season in and of itself, Advent. It's not Christmas yet. And then, you know what happened? He busted me after I went into my Pharisaical preaching because, can I show this? See if I can do this without falling out of my chair.
Christmas socks.
I'm wearing my ho-ho-ho Christmas socks. Truth be told, it was the first pair of block socks I found in the drawer this morning, so. So, yeah, the first Sunday of Advent when we're recording this. You know, and I didn't know what we were going to have to talk about. So I brought a copy of the bulletin in from church today. I thought I'd do some reading from, I'm not going to read from it, but here's what we were talking about. I don't know what your church is like. In the liturgical church, it's very unlikely that you sang Christmas music today. If you go to I don't want to say low church because I don't mean, some people will take that offensive.
No, low church, yeah.
Low church, high church. High church is more liturgical, low church is more free-form worship. So that's what I mean by that.
So not like a Latin mass.
Right. It's more likely if you're in going to that sort of church or in a denomination or non-denomination that is more free-form, doesn't follow the lectionary or liturgical calendar. You might be singing Christmas songs already, but we're not. We're singing Advent hymns, which nobody likes. I mean, nobody likes these things. In fact, you probably can't name any. I can name one. You were telling me before it's your favorite Christmas song. I had to correct him. It's an Advent song.
Come, O come, Emmanuel.
Come, O come, Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. So that's an Advent song.
Listen to these hits.
Yeah, this is what was in our repertoire this morning. Our opening hymn, well, first of all, before the start of service, we do an Advent lighting, an Advent wreath lighting liturgy.
You're not going to sing these, right?
No, because I don't know this song. So we sang verse 1 of the candle song about verse 1 of the candle song. Because today was the candle of...
Good song.
Today's the candle of hope.
Yes.
Hope. And then, I don't know if it's peace, joy, love, or love, joy, peace. in that order.
One of the four.
Yeah. Well, no. Joy is week 3 because that's the pink candle. But anyway, so we sang that. But the opening hymn was number 1 in your hearts. You've never heard this. If you've heard this, it's because you have a degree in church music. Rejoice, rejoice, ye people. The choir knew it. You know what I did? A lot of people knew it. I didn't know it. So I stood up on the altar. And what you do is when you don't know a song, you don't let real sound come out of your mouth. You just mumble watermelon. So you do this.
Watermelon.
And it looks like you know what you're doing. So that was the opening hymn. We had an offertory hymn, which was just as popular. I mean, this one is all over the radio these days.
I sang this when I was a kid.
Comfort, comfort, ye my people. That was the offertory hymn. Then there was communion music, which it's not published in the bulletin. I'm kind of busy during communion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got a job to do.
That's good.
And then we had a closing hymn, which was Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. No, it was not. It was Come to the Savior Now. So there you have it. And somewhere out there in this audience, I guarantee you, there's more than one.
I know that
There are
song.
church musicians, and they are like livid with me now because I have mocked the Advent tradition. And I don't mean to mock it. It's just that I have one of my best friends. He goes to a Methodist church. And every year I have to hear this nonsense. I mean, it's like he forgets he tells me this. I can't believe the music we're playing. It's Christmas, and we're singing these dirgy hymns. I'm like, well, it's not Christmas. It's actually Advent. Well, I want Christmas music. I'm like, well, did you talk to your music director? Yes, and she says it's Advent. I'm like, but I just said that.
You can just go to Target and hear Christmas music.
You can go, look, you've been hearing Christmas music since Halloween. And he gets all bent out of shape every year, but he's like, but it's dirgy. And I'm like, well, that's what Advent music is. And it's kind of dirgy, but I don't know. Now you were saying you don't like popular Christmas music.
No,
you actually like the hymns. Oh, come all you faithful, and the
Yes.
sort of spirituals. Yeah, Joy to the World.
Yes.
Not the Jeremiah was a bullfrog, Joy to the World. The actual
So I was trying to remember which one that was.
Joy to the World.
Joy to the End.
Like Chevy Chase would sing it.
Don't.
Joy to the world.
Oh.
That's my best imitation of that movie. Mark VV, I'm beginning to think we have probably wasted enough of their time on this. So why don't we start to wrap it up? Closing thoughts on this. There's still a lot to go. This is a slow burning Baccy, which is also pleasant. It's slow and cool burning, and I kind of like that because, we could go on chatting for a while and continue to enjoy this. It's packing down nice gray ashy.
As you've probably seen, I've been having some issues keeping it lit, but I think it's more of my packing method versus...
I haven't had much of a, let me see. Now, I took a little time off talking there and packed it down, so I'm going to relight. But it comes right back to life with just a little bit of flame. So, wrapping it up, I like it. I know that's probably not the greatest review. I do. I like it. I've had it before. That's why I went and bought some more of it and got a big jar of it. And I don't know why I don't go to this more frequently, particularly in cool weather. Because this is a good cool weather
This is
blend.
definitely very, very cool weather.
It really is. Although I wouldn't have a problem smoking this in the summer either.
For
But
what it's worth, all the J.M. Boswell tobaccos I've had have been very good.
they do a good job.
So.
They really do. They really do. So, your closing thoughts on this particular blend, on Countryside. Do you see yourself smoking it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm
You'd enjoy it again. Even though you're not a big Latakia guy.
This is something I would definitely turn to if I was looking for something with Latakia, but I don't want that in
Right.
your face.
Right. But you're also not, maybe you're a little burnt out on a straight Virginia with that sort of Virginia sweetness, or even a vapor with the peppery. You just get, sometimes you get a little fatigued by it. You get a little tired of it. You're looking for something different.
What about vaping?
A vapor.
Vapor.
Virginia Perique. Or an aromatic, a sickly sweet, and you just get a little tired of it. This is a great change of pace for somebody like that. But I could see where people would say, this is my blend. And, you know, if it was 100 years ago, like our grandfathers, they probably, you know, only had one blend. I could see where people say, this would be my blend. Not that, I don't think Boswell's was making this 100 years ago, but, you know.
Maybe they were.
You know my point. Look, my father smoked a pipe. He quit many years ago, but when I was younger, he did. And his father smoked a pipe. And I don't know what his father smoked, but I guarantee you, he probably had one blend, and he may have had two pipes, maybe.
Captain Black and Middleton Cherry.
Maybe, or Prince Albert or something like that, you know. But so when I walk into my cellar and I see all the crap I have, all the pipes I have, all the blends, it's ridiculous. It's almost embarrassing, and I'm afraid one day the people from Hoarders are going to show up and do a special on me. So it's incredible, because it really is a blessing with all the choices we have. But when we start worrying about, oh, the FDA, blah, 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 if you're well cellared, I mean, you have a lot of choices still. And to think that, you know, 2 generations ago, our grandfathers probably just smoked Prince Albert or Carter Hall or Captain, whatever the case may, Sale, I don't know. You know, everybody had their one go-to. And it's an amazing world that we live in today, where we have multiple choices, lots and lots and lots and lots of choices.
Cornell and Deal themselves have, what, 300
it's crazy.
blends?
It's crazy the amount they have, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good blends. Boswell's, I mean, just, you know, they're their own thing. They're not they don't produce their own tobacco. They're making this from somebody's farms, and they do a fine job. And they've got several dozen, I'm sure, their own blends, aromatics and non-aromatics. The Country Squire, another case, right? Do a lot of in-house blending, mixing components from other tobacco companies, and coming up with some fantastic blends. And, you know, that's one of the things we also have to look forward to, I think, as tobacco enthusiasts, is you can make your own concoctions. You know, you can start with a little blending Latakia and play with some Virginias and, you know, mix it together, or throw a little aromatic on top and see what happens. Yep. And it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed doing that. Sometimes it makes a complete mess. It's disgusting. Other times you're pleasantly surprised, and you get on a little bit of a trail, and you're like, well, let me keep fine-tuning that and see where I'm going with it. So, but at the end of the day, I think I give a thumbs up to this.
I would too.
This Boswell's Countryside. I think it's a good English. It almost leans toward the English hybrid model, crossover type, and cool smoking, flavorful, no bite. I mean, I don't know what's not to like about this. So that's how I can.
I'm excited to try Northwoods now, because I haven't tried that since the first time you gave it to me, and
that's been a while.
I'm wondering how it compares to this.
All right, so that's it. Look forward for the Northwoods video. We'll do that one next, right here on BRTV. For Mark VV, I'm Padre, wishing you and yours God's peace, grace,
and blessings.
He usually mocks me for that. But
I thought you were waiting for me.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Phil. Take care, guys.